The Waffle House sign flickered faintly in the humid Georgia night, casting a warm neon glow over the sleepy town. It was just past 2 a.m., the kind of hour where secrets often linger, hidden in plain sight. Inside, the air buzzed with the comforting clatter of plates and the soft hiss of bacon on the grill. A refuge for night owls, truck drivers, and wanderers, the diner was alive with its usual late-night rhythm. At the center of this symphony was Lyla, a waitress in her late 20s. Her name tag, slightly askew on her well-worn uniform, read Lyla. She was the heart of this place, her laugh bright and infectious, her energy seemingly endless. She darted between tables with the grace of someone who had mastered the art of multitasking, balancing trays stacked high with waffles and steaming cups of coffee, while tossing in a joke or two for good measure. This night, however, felt different. In the corner booth, a group of college students chattered animatedly, their voices cutting through the din. At the counter, a weathered man nursed his coffee in silence, seemingly lost in thought. As Lyla poured refills for the students, she caught snippets of their conversation. "Can you believe Elon Musk is actually serious about colonizing Mars?" one of them exclaimed, his voice tinged with equal parts awe and disbelief. Lyla chuckled softly under her breath. Tech billionaires and their wild ideas. They seemed as distant as the stars themselves to someone whose world revolved around syrup-sticky tables and midnight small talk. As she turned to clear another table, the door chimed softly, signaling a new arrival. She barely glanced up, too engrossed in her routine, but something about the figure that entered made a few heads turn. A man, casually dressed in a hoodie and jeans, slipped quietly into a booth by the window. He ordered a simple black coffee, his voice low and unassuming. The students' chatter grew quieter as one of them craned their neck, whispering in hushed excitement, could it be?" Lyla, oblivious, carried on. She approached the man's table with her usual warmth. "Coffee, right? Anything else for you tonight?" The man looked up, and for a brief moment, their eyes met. There was something familiar about him, though Lyla couldn't quite place it. He gave a small smile, shook his head, and returned to his thoughts. It wasn't until much later, as the man left a generous tip and slipped out into the night, that one of the students muttered in awe, "That was him. That was Elon Musk." Lyla froze, the realization dawning on her like the sunrise she was about to greet after her shift. The tech billionaire the students had been talking about all night had been right there in her diner, unnoticed and unbothered. For a moment, she stood there, caught between disbelief and amusement. Shrugging, she grabbed her rag and started wiping the counter, a knowing smile playing on her lips. Just another night at the Waffle House, where even billionaires come for a slice of normalcy. Adjacent to the counter, just beyond the lively din of the restaurant, sat a man cloaked in casual anonymity. His face, partially shadowed, revealed sharp features and a glint of mischief in his eyes. It was him, Elon Musk, the name buzzing through the conversations of diners that very night. The tech magnate had slipped into this unassuming Waffle House, seeking a moment of respite from the relentless spotlight. He wasn't trying hard to blend in, though. His quiet presence was enough. The chaotic yet comforting hum of the Waffle House seemed to form a protective cocoon around him. But even the richest man in the world couldn't completely fade into the background. Lyla approached his booth, her pen poised over her well-worn notepad, a cheerful tone in her voice. "What can I get for you tonight?" she asked, her energy radiant as always. Elon glanced up, slightly startled, but visibly charmed by her warmth. "I'll take the All-Star Special," he said, a faint smile playing at his lips. "And a side of grits. Coming right up," Lyla replied, jotting the order with her trademark enthusiasm. She had no clue that she was chatting with one of the world's most influential figures. As she made her way to the kitchen, she felt a curious twinge, as though the air itself held something extraordinary. The usual symphony of late-night life filled the diner, the sizzle of bacon on the grill, the chatter of college students, the rhythmic clink of forks against plates. This was her world, chaotic and heartwarming, and she loved every bit of it. Minutes later, Lyla returned to the booth, carefully balancing a steaming plate stacked with golden waffles, their syrup glistening under the soft glow of the diner lights. "One all-star special with a side of grits," she announced, placing it before him with a flourish. Elon looked up, his grin genuine. "Looks amazing." "Thank you," he said, his voice warm, almost as if he was surprised by the simplicity of this moment. "Enjoy. Let me know if you need anything else," she replied, flashing a proud smile before stepping away. As she turned, her eyes caught one of the college students staring wide-eyed at the booth, whispering urgently to his friends. Lyla brushed it off. Late-night diners always had their quirks. Maybe it was the allure of waffles, or the eccentric decor on the walls. Elon, meanwhile, was lost in his own world, savoring each bite of his meal as if time had momentarily paused. He sipped his coffee, his gaze distant yet serene, utterly disconnected from the billion-dollar decisions that awaited him outside. But what Lyla didn't know was that her genuine kindness and this quiet exchange had been noticed and captured. Somewhere in the haze of sizzling grills and syrup-streaked plates, a patron's phone had clicked, immortalizing a candid moment between a Waffle House waitress and one of the most powerful men on the planet. That photo, though unremarkable at first glance, would soon ripple across social media, sparking debates, laughter, and awe. But for Lyla, the night was just another in her book of countless stories, a reminder that even in the most ordinary places, the extraordinary often quietly unfolds. The Waffle House bustled on, its late-night rhythm undisturbed by the significance of the man quietly seated in the corner booth. Elon Musk, the billionaire who had slipped into the diner unnoticed, was simply another patron to Lyla. She carried on with her usual charm, joking with the college kids, refilling coffee mugs, and balancing trays with practiced ease. But the electric hum of the night hinted at something extraordinary. Lyla felt it too, though she couldn't place it, a nervous flutter that tugged at the edges of her usually calm demeanor. "Lyla, can you take a plate of the house special waffles to that table?" the manager called out, gesturing toward Elon's corner. "Don't forget the special sauce." "Got it," she replied, brushing off the nerves and grabbing the order. Balancing the steaming plate and a small cup of sauce, she made her way to the booth. As she approached, her eyes caught something odd. 3 people nearby with their phones out, lenses fixed on Elon. Confusion turned to a slight panic. Why were they recording him? Was he famous? Reaching the table, Lyla placed the waffles down and began to pour the sauce. "This one's on the house," she started to say, but in a split second, her grip faltered. The sauce tipped dangerously, and then disaster struck. A messy splash landed on Elon's plate, his hoodie, and even his hands. The commotion drew every pair of eyes in the diner. "Oh no!" Lyla gasped, mortified, as she scrambled to grab napkins. Her cheeks burned crimson as the chaos unfolded around her. Before she could apologize properly, one of the students at a nearby table shouted, "You incompetent lady. Do you even know who that is? That's Elon Musk. You just spilled sauce all over one of the richest men on Earth." Lyla froze. The realization hit her like a freight train. The familiar face, the whispers, the phones, it all clicked into place. She had just spilled sauce on Elon Musk. The laughter of the students filled the room, amplifying her embarrassment. Lyla could hardly focus on anything else as she fumbled to clean the mess, her hands trembling. She wished she could vanish into thin air. But then, a soft chuckle broke through the tension. "It's just sauce," Elon said, his voice calm and even amused. He reached out to help, grabbing a napkin to dab at the spill. "Besides, these waffles still look fantastic." Lyla looked up, startled by his unexpected kindness. The room seemed to hold its breath. Thank you. I'm so sorry," she stammered. "Don't worry about it," Elon replied with a small smile. "Happens to the best of us. It's all part of the experience, right?" Lyla managed a nervous laugh, and the tension in the room slowly eased. The students, now silenced, exchanged sheepish glances. As Lyla returned to the counter, still shaken but somewhat comforted by Elon's reaction, she overheard one of the patrons say, "Only at Waffle House could something like this happen." Later that night, The diner's security footage of the moment and a few patron-snapped videos made their way online. The incident went viral almost instantly, celebrated as a quirky, humanizing moment for Elon Musk and the hardworking waitress who spilled a little sauce but carried a lot of heart. For Lyla, it was a night she'd never forget, a story she'd one day tell with a laugh, a touch of pride, and the warmth of knowing she had shared a genuine moment with someone extraordinary. Lyla's heart raced as she fumbled for napkins, her cheeks burning with embarrassment. She'd handled spills countless times during her shifts, but this was different. This was Elon Musk, the tech mogul who could change the world with a single tweet, and she had just drenched him in syrupy sauce. "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry," she exclaimed, her voice trembling with panic and regret. "I didn't mean to." Elon waved off her apology, laughter twinkling in his eyes. "It's all right," he said, grabbing a napkin to help clean the mess. "I've had worse nights, believe me." Lyla chuckled nervously, her hands still shaking. "I mean, if you need to escape to Mars after this, I wouldn't blame you." Elon let out a genuine laugh, the sound rich and warm. "If this is the kind of service I can expect on Earth, I might have to reconsider my plans." His easygoing demeanor was contagious, and for a moment, the tension melted away. The diner, alive with clinking plates and murmured conversations, seemed to fade into the background. The college students, who moments ago had been gawking at Elon, quietly set their phones down, captivated by the unexpected camaraderie forming in the booth. "Can I get you anything else?" Lyla asked, her voice steadier now, the confidence slowly returning to her tone. Elon leaned back in his seat, a playful grin on his face. "Just your company for a minute," he said. "Tell me, what makes this place so special?" Lyla's eyes lit up, a spark of pride shining through her embarrassment. She glanced around the diner, gesturing at the lively scene. "It's the heart of the community," she said, her voice full of conviction. "We get everyone here, students, truck drivers, families, at all hours. It's where stories are shared, meals are savored, and friendships are forged over greasy plates of food." She paused, her gaze softening as she added, "People come in as strangers and leave as friends. That's the magic of this place." Elon nodded thoughtfully, clearly intrigued. "There's something special about places like this," he said, his tone sincere, "where people can just be themselves, without any pretenses." For a brief moment, the billionaire and the waitress shared a quiet connection, their worlds colliding in the most unexpected of places. As the night went on, the diner returned to its usual rhythm, but for Lyla, this encounter was one she'd carry with her. A reminder that even in life's most ordinary moments, something extraordinary can unfold. Lyla felt the connection deepen as Elon leaned forward, genuinely interested. "Exactly," she said with a small smile. "You don't have to be anyone but yourself here. Just good food and good company." Elon's eyes twinkled with curiosity. "What about you? What's your story?" She hesitated for a moment, caught off guard by his sincere question. But his warm demeanor encouraged her. "Well, I grew up in this town. Waffle House has always been part of my life. I started working here after high school, and I love it. It's exhausting sometimes, but it's rewarding, you know?" He nodded thoughtfully. "Absolutely. It's important to find joy in what you do, no matter how simple it seems." Lyla felt a warmth in his words, a reassurance that success wasn't just about fame or wealth. "Yeah," she said with a brighter smile. "And I think laughter is the best part of my job. I meet so many interesting people every day." Before she could say more, her coworker Emma approached, her eyes wide with concern. "Lyla, are you okay?" "I saw the spill. Sorry about that." Lyla brushed off her worries with a light laugh. "It's fine. Elon's been really cool about it." Emma blinked, suddenly noticing who was sitting at the booth. "Elon Musk? You're kidding." Elon waved casually. "Just trying to enjoy some waffles like everyone else. No harm done." Emma stammered a quick apology and hurried off, still in awe. Lyla turned back to Elon, a hint of relief on her face. "So," she asked, her curiosity piqued, "do you often find yourself at diners in the middle of the night?" Elon chuckled. Not as often as I'd like, but I think it's important to experience life outside of boardrooms. It keeps me grounded. She nodded, understanding. Yeah, it's easy to forget the little things when you're busy, changing the world. Their conversation flowed naturally, drawing the attention of other patrons. The college students were whispering again, but now with a mix of admiration and fascination as they snuck glances at the booth. "What's the wildest thing you've ever done?" Lyla asked playfully, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. Elon paused, a grin spreading across his face. "That's a tough one. Probably when I went to a space launch in a onesie." "Don't ask." Lyla burst out laughing, her eyes wide with surprise. "I bet the internet didn't let you forget that one." "Not for a second," he replied, his laughter echoing hers. For a moment, the chaos of the diner seemed to fade away. Their shared laughter felt genuine, a connection formed in the most unexpected of places. As Lyla glanced at the clock, reality pulled her back. "Oh no, I should get back to work. Do you need anything else?" Elon shook his head, his smile still warm. "Just keep being you. That's the best service I could ask for." Feeling a rush of warmth, Lyla couldn't help but smile back. "Thanks, Elon. I really needed to hear that." And with that, she returned to her duties, carrying a renewed sense of pride and joy in the little moments that made her job and her life special. As Lyla turned to leave, Elon called out after her. "Hey, Lyla," he said, his tone light yet sincere. She paused, glancing back at him. "Make sure to come say hi if you ever need a break from the craziness here," he added with a smile. "I'd love to hear more of your stories." Her heart swelled at his words. "I just might take you up on that," she replied with a grin. The rest of her shift passed in a blur of laughter and camaraderie. As she cleared plates and poured coffee, snippets of whispered conversations about the man in the corner booth floated to her ears. The story of the Waffle House waitress and the tech billionaire was already becoming part of the diner's late-night lore. When her shift finally ended, Lyla stepped outside into the crisp night air. The cool breeze was refreshing, and the sky, dotted with countless stars, seemed full of possibility. With a contented smile, she glanced back at the diner, gratitude swelling in her chest. That night, amidst the bustling chaos of the Waffle House, a simple, genuine connection had sparked something extraordinary. Little did Lyla know that the recording of her encounter with Elon Musk would soon find its way onto social media, spreading joy and laughter far beyond the quiet boundaries of her sleepy town. What do you think about Elon's reaction to Lyla's mishap? Have you ever experienced or heard a story like this? If you have, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.